thought that I've discussed placebos before in a conversation, but I looked it up on my podcast anyway because I just search keywords and it didn't come up. So I'm not sure if it just didn't do a good job of searching or I haven't discussed that. I was going to discuss it again anyway right now because it was more specific than just placebos in general, but talking, and maybe I talked about placebos really with another topic and it wasn't just all about that, but I don't know. I can't find it. I just searched keywords. I didn't look that hard, but I wanted to discuss symbolism with placebos, and I guess first off, I would say that I believe in the positivity of placebos. I believe that they can be positive things, and that obviously they can work and whatever else. And I think that there are times where I very consciously sometimes it kind of seems like a paradox that you can give yourself a placebo, because if you know that's what it is, then how could you trick your mind or body or whatever into reaping the benefits of that if you know it's a placebo? If you know that, then how could you do that? But I've definitely been able to do that with myself, being I don't know if this helps or not, but I'm going to believe that it does, and therefore it does. Even things like caffeine, because so many times caffeine just has not impacted me in a way that it does with most people. I don't know why, just my body doesn't do that really. Where there's so many times in university too where I needed to stay up and write a paper, and I tried energy drinks or this or that or 5-hour energy, and just nothing, just it didn't help me stay awake whatsoever. And so I know that my body doesn't react that well, but then sometimes well, I'm just gonna I'll have a little bit of caffeine or whatever, and I know that'll work, and then it seems to do that, even though I've had physical evidence that my body has not metabolized or just processed that chemical in a way that does keep me awake. So yeah, there's other things too that just I tell myself that's the thing, and then it will be the thing. But when I wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about specifically today was again symbolism and placebos, and assigning meaning to things that don't necessarily have meaning, or that it could be this or it could be that, but if you believe that it's one thing, then you can just make it be that thing and it would be positive. And so to be more specific, for me, one of the things I was thinking of was it came about because of somebody mending a shirt for me, and how it was originally there was someone else had tried to mend that shirt, and that person is not someone who is in my life anymore, and I never really thought about the shirt carrying that much weight. I just liked it, and the shirt has changed its function from when I first got it, how many years ago. It's changed its function numerous times. From it was a shirt for work at first because it was incredibly oversized. Then it was for when I was working at Maple Leaf doing shipping and receiving, and it was really cold. And it's this button-up flannel that's really big and large and can go other clothes can fit underneath it. And to being just a shirt that I wore because I liked it, and then being oh, I'm just gonna wear this in autumn when I'm biking, and then it getting ripped up, and then be oh, now it's a studio shirt, and then just it being too ripped up to wear anymore. And I was just thinking of how I feel I've emotionally detached from that shirt with the person who originally tried to mend it, where I never think of that when I look at the shirt, right? When I put it on, I just never think about oh yeah, well, she tried to stitch this up and it was done with care, and just the weight that can carry when that relationship is over. And having someone else that is a positive relationship, or a positive influence in my life, or just whatever, a positive relationship, doing that and mending that and taking out the stitches of the previous mend in order to do it properly and make it stronger Um, I didn't think that it carried that much weight for me just because I didn't give the shirt that much significance to begin with. So I didn't give it that power. But it's interesting because I was just thinking in the method of giving myself a placebo that I didn't naturally think or feel that it had that weight. But why don't I give it that weight? Now that it's not in a negative way of like giving this thing weight and like giving it an emotional attachment. Because again, I just like looked at that shirt, I would wear that shirt, and I wasn't thinking about it. It didn't have any emotional weight for me. I was able to detach as just this is an object that I wear to keep warm. You know what I mean? Like it's not about. It didn't have any sentimentality to it. But I can give it sentimentality now in a positive way, and I think that like even though it's not a. There's part of me that's like it's not a real feeling. Like I mean, it's not a natural thing that I am recognizing, and maybe it's been buried underneath the whole time. Maybe it has been there, and there was a weird association that was affecting me subconsciously. I don't know, but I can consciously, with full awareness now, I can just decide, hey, why don't I give it that? Why don't I tell myself that, the stitches are gone now, and someone else has placed their hands on this shirt and mended that shirt and repaired it with care, and that has symbolism, right? Like there's emotions I can attach to that and give this article of clothing positivity and warmth and a nice feeling to connect with in a way that it has healed even like the associations that I would have or could have had with this shirt that were negative. And I think that there is power in placebo. And you might not be able to achieve that because sometimes I know, to me, it's on case to case basis. If I can trick myself, if I can make myself believe a thing that I know not to be true, or that it's not necessarily true, but I'm just going to say that it is to make my brain do this work, this magical work to feel things differently or to process things differently, whether it be physically or again like just metaphysically, or your body can do amazing things because your mind can trick your body into doing things, right? Anyway, I just think that is a thing that is useful that you could try yourself with things. And I think that there's an interesting dynamic with symbology and just like giving something power and telling yourself this is a symbol of X. And I think that I very naturally do that with negative things, but I don't do it with positive things that often. And that I could do that very consciously and put that into practice more, and that could benefit me in a nice way.